What's good, family? What's good? Welcome to another installment of Spiritual Awakening with yours truly, A.G. Green. With somebody inbox, maybe on Facebook, I represent Mystic Wesley Turkey's just texted me and said that he can't find us, can't find me now. I know some of y'all are in Patreon. Again, I don't know what's going on with that platform. I couldn't see any of your comments, couldn't even see anybody, if anybody was present. I don't know what happened with that. My apologies. So we're streaming on YouTube, and somebody can just copy and paste this link and inbox him on YouTube so he can find us. There he is. There he is. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, you're watching Spiritual Awakening with yours truly, A.G. Green. Text, like, share as many hearts as possible. So glad to see you all on this particular day. I'm so thankful and so grateful to be here because it's time to vibe with our tribe. Now let's pray. Almighty, we're so thankful and grateful for this opportunity that you've granted and afforded us. We have ears to hear and hearts to receive what the Spirit is saying to us. Thank you for your inner guidance, understanding and understanding. Thank you for expansion inwardly. We thank you for alignment with you, the creator, the source and sustainer of all. Continue to expand our consciousness, our awareness, and allow our lights to shine before men, that they may see our good works and glorify the Father, which lives in us, with us, through us. And we just thank you and praise you in this moment for healing and wholeness. We're evolving, we're transforming, and we are ascending. And we thank you right now. Remember the name, the power, and the way, and the consciousness of Yeshua. It is so, and so it is. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. In the meantime, follow, like, and subscribe on social media. That's at AG Green Now or AG Green Now on the various social media platforms that we have online. And of course, you can always visit theaggreen.com and Divine Species Shop to pick up some spiritual aids on your spiritual journey. Again, so honored and privileged to be with you all here on today. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly, above all that we ask or think, and it is according to the power that worketh in us." I want you to type it in the comment section. Speak it to yourself. I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. That's it. I am powerful. Yes, own the power, declare the power, be the power. Give that power permission to be. Give that power permission to be active. Give that power permission to work on your behalf. Acknowledge that power so that that power can flow and change your life. You're a divine spiritual being who's made in the image and likeness of a wonderful creator, and you share the attributes of the source, of the divine, of what we call God, and we're so thankful and so grateful. I am powerful. Indeed, you are powerful, 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 dynamic, spiritual species, spiritual beings. That's who and that's what you are. What's good? Tell me about your week thus far. What's good? Tell me about your week thus far. Mine has been busy. Y'all talk back to me. What's good? Tell me about your week thus far. I am most definitely interested in knowing how things have been going for you. Busy week for me. What about you? Above it all, I am thankful through it all, as the old folks would say, I am thankful. Talk to me real quickly. Tell me what's good and how's your week been going thus far, because I want to check in with you and I want to make sure that you are present and that all is well with you. Just want to check in on you. So what's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all must be typing slow. Talk to me. What's good? Tell me how your week has been going thus far. My Krista says week has been going good. Anybody else? Anybody else? What's good? And how has your week been going thus far? Talk to me. Talk to me. What's good and how's your week been going thus far? I want to know where you are. I want to know what you've been doing. Let's see. Our resident therapist says, this week has been powerful. He said, I've managed my emotions and been present in my divine authority. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Everybody else want to share what's good and how's your week been going thus far? And our resident mystic says, I'm grateful for my brother Michael. On August 1st, he will be promoted to Grandmaster in Martial Arts. Wow. What a wonderful earned honor and earned award. He must be something serious in the martial arts community. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that with me. I took my headphones off. It sounds like rain behind me. I'm not sure if that's rain or not. But thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that. Willis, yes, congratulations is in order for his brother Michael. Congratulations. Martial arts is something I always wanted to be involved with. Oh, it's raining. Okay, I thought I heard that. Yes, we have our own show now. His brother Michael. Grateful for his brother Michael. Awesomeness, awesomeness, awesomeness. I'm going to get directly to the teaching tonight. I appreciate y'all checking in with us, being faithful and dutiful. I do have some things that I want to discuss, and I am going to not take as long as I normally take. So let's get right to it. There's some things that I want to discuss with you all on tonight as we continue our series. I'll let our resident therapist put up what installment that we are on. You'll type it in the comment section and I'll put it up on the screen. Let's see here, just looking through some notes here. Yes. Let's see, he's got part 2, stop trying to become. Did I start that last week? I know I started that one day. What day was that? That was Sunday. I started that Sunday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with prayer, power, and alignment tonight. So whatever one that was in terms of numbers, put that up for us. I realized today I needed to continue and finish that. So I'll get back to stop trying become on Sunday. No, you're good. You're good, brother. You're good. Let's see here. I think I'm in an activation phase, and I want to do some activating tonight, give you some practical steps. I will review a few notes real quickly. And again, I remind you as I do this activation tonight, we've been taught from a traditional standpoint that prayer is strictly spiritual, and it's just far from the truth. As a matter of fact, if you read enough teachers, enough experts, enough scholars, for the most part, whether they believe that man is of 2 dimensions or 3, meaning he's 3-dimensional or trichotomous, or maybe dichotomous. Maybe he's just a soul in a body or a spirit soul in a body. They typically teach it in a way that they want you to believe that they are one. Although they might appear to be segmented and have the ability to be separated, they operate as one. They operate as one. Your mind is just as much involved in prayer as your spirit. Your body, which is a part of your mind. When I say the mind, in this case, I'm talking about the brain. The brain and the body are very much involved in the prayer process. And of course, many believe that the mind controls the brain, which is the physical apparatus that controls this body and is a direct physical interface to this physical construct, this physical dimension. But you and I are really are spirits who live in this fleshly, earthly tabernacle that's called the human body, or that is called the physical body. So this is part 15, prayer power alignment, what prayer really is, so forth and so on. And then I cover the segment why prayer doesn't work. But tonight, I want to give you a recap, and then I want to get into a brief activation. We talked about emotional embodiment, living the state. Emotion stabilizes identity. And we established emotion amplifies neural conditioning. When you are praying, don't get it twisted. The brain is participating. There's an emotion that's going to be summoned with prayer. And that emotion, again, is going to be created from the central nervous system. So we took it further to discuss how emotion stabilizes identity. Emotion can support us in positivity or negativity. That's how it stabilizes identity. I shared with you that you cannot live a peaceful life while emotionally anchored in chaos. You're not going to do it. I also shared that you cannot embody abundance while feeling scarcity. You cannot sustain discipline while feeling resistance. I also shared that your behavior will eventually follow that emotion, not your intention. Emotion is stronger than intention. We must learn how to partner emotion with intention. And intention alone is not enough. Emotion is the motivating aspect. Emotion, we are moved, we are motivated. There are actually words that are related, emotion and motivation. We also discussed with you the behavior loop, identity, action, evidence, and reinforcement. We've discussed that again as a part of the integrated self-framework. It's an important principle that we teach here in our community, that identity leads to how we act, that action produces an evidence, and in evidence we see a reinforcement of identity, a reinforcement of who and what we are. I want you to type this in the comment section. Every day I show up in the world as an identity. Type that in the comment section. Every day I show up in the world as an identity. Now, a character has an identity. Characters we watch on screen, they all have identities. I could have said you show up in the world, every day you show up in the world as a character. I want to emphasize the word identity because that's what we are using to ground us, essentially grounding us in this experience is identity. So identity, action, evidence, reinforcement. This loop governs your life. Again, identity shapes behavior. Behavior produces results. Results reinforce identity. So if you want to change your life, you must interrupt this loop at the level of action. Type this in the comment section. Ask yourself a question. What am I doing? What am I doing? We know that we can trace what we're doing back to what we're thinking, but you're going to have to establish a pattern interrupt to shut down a behavior you don't want, go backwards in the cycle from evidence to action to identity. You're behaving the way you're behaving because of your identity. Well, in prayer, as a person who prays, as a person who meditates, as a person who has a relationship with the source, with God, with the creator, with the source, that is all based on an identity. And again, that identity is going to determine how you pray or not pray. I also gave us a little scriptural insight. James 1:22 in his little book, he said, be doers of the word and not hearers only. This is not a mechanical principle. The principle or the truth is hearing or speaking without doing creates self-deception. Hearing or speaking without doing creates fragmented identity. Hearing or speaking without doing creates a lack of transformation. A lack of transformation. I want you to hear me. In the Gospel of Luke, Yeshua says, why do you call me Lord and not do what I say? Again, not doing what he says is not subscribing to the teaching to hold it in belief and in bringing it into your belief system. You're going to follow through with the teaching that you believe. You're going to embody it and you're going to carry it out. So he's not just talking about things in a sense of, words or things that he's saying or teachings in general. It's the content of his teachings. And the content of his teachings define who he is shaping his disciples, in identity to be or to become. I want you to catch that. We also share with you the cost of incongruence. The cost of incongruence. In other words, when your words and actions do not align, several things happen. When our words and actions don't align, so when what we say and what we do don't align, there's a couple of things that happens. Number one, internal trust breaks. You stop believing in yourself. You stop believing in yourself. We must somehow, some way. Don't just talk about it as the saying would be, but you've got to be about it. People who live truth, their truth, speak their truth, and act or produce behaviors that's congruent with that truth. The worst thing you can do is start thinking, imagine, and speaking something that you will not do. Then you don't get the results you want. Then you're discouraged and frustrated. And then doubt creeps in. The mental disease of doubt, the mental disease and spiritual disease of unbelief. And now you don't trust yourself. The next thing that happens is confidence decreases because your behavior contradicts your intention. Your confidence in yourself is going to decrease because even you start realizing I'm not doing nothing that I really am saying and speaking. Your identity fragments. That's the next thing that happens. You become divided. We must learn how to conquer multiple voices in our head. I want you to type that in the comment section. There are multiple opinions and multiple mindsets that can lead to multiple identities. I want you to hear me. It is possible for you to show up with one face, but many identities, one face, but many minds, one physical body that people considers to be singular. And they think in that singular body is one mind or one system of thought, but you could be double-minded, triple-minded, quadruple-minded. This is what makes people indecisive. This is why they swing back and forth like a pendulum. This is why they say one thing and do something else 30 minutes later. There's more than one identity in operation, and usually these identities all have a voice, and these identities and these voices are fighting to be heard, fighting for power, fighting for attention. So our identity fragments, and when it fragments, we become divided. And once we become divided, it is difficult to decide on anything. And then lastly, energy drains, mainly because we are maintaining two conflicting states, or we are maintaining multiple conflicting states. Do you know one of the most exhausting fights you'll ever have is with yourself? I'm going to say it again. One of the most exhausting fights you'll ever have is with yourself. Has anybody ever got exhausted just thinking to themselves? Has it ever happened? It's happened to me before. You wear yourself out with all the thoughts. What if, this, that, and the other? You're dreaming, you're imagining all kinds of outcomes, some of them not so good outcomes. And before you know it, fear has crept in, and you're a little anxious, you're a little fidgety, you're a little agitated. And then you're uncertain now. You were certain before, but now you're uncertain because you allow all of these, you pulled out of the ether, and you pull out of the ether frequencies and thoughts and energy and vibration that is filled with fear, filled with doubt, filled with discrepancies. And before you know it, you're exhausted arguing with yourself. You're exhausted thinking about all your thoughts. You're within your own thoughts. You're exhausted within the world that you created. It is a fragmented, divided, splintered world because there are multiple minds with multiple opinions, with multiple thoughts that are in your head. Some of this is all us, but again, I believe we can extract these things from other people, and we can extract these things out of the ether. So again, that's the cost of incongruence. Internal trust breaks, confidence decreases, identity fragments, energy drains. It's tough to maintain more than one stance in more than one position. We must learn how to define what works for us, how to define what the source and creator wants for us, how to define certain spiritual principles and truths and live by it. So again, this is why incongruence is exhausting. I want you to type in the comment section, incongruence is exhausting. Incongruence is exhausting. It's exhausting to be incongruent. It's exhausting to be confused. It's exhausting not to believe and then believe. It's exhausting to be up and to be down. It's exhausting to be in and to be out. It's exhausting to be up and then to be down, almost level with the ground. And then at times feeling like you're below the ground. That's exhausting. Type in the comment section, incongruence is exhausting. Been there before, done that, got the t-shirt to prove it. So when we're in alignment, we have clarity, we have simplicity, we have momentum. I spoke about a few of the principles of the integrated self framework, which are important. Prayer requires, number one, cognitive alignment. Cognitive alignment. I believe this is who I am. I wish I had more to to say as it relates to that. I was talking to a pastor yesterday, giving him his advice, giving him some advice, going through some things in his life. And he reminded me of a message that I preached years back. What was the title of that message? Let's see. I think it was about, it was a message he said on righteousness. I spoke a message on righteousness, and he was sharing some of the points he received from the message that he said empowered him. And in traditional Christianity, the strength of the whole movement, it really is grace. Grace, they believe, is supplied by Yeshua HaMashiach. Grace that is connected to an act of atonement on the cross. But within that message of being the righteousness of God or the righteousness of Theos in Christos Yeshua, which is what I was discussing, there's an identity that's formed. There's an identity that emerges. See, if you approach your God in your belief system as an unstable being, as one who's unstable in identity, guess what's going to happen? What's going to happen is it's going to affect your prayers. If you don't feel like you're on a solid foundation with anyone or anything, your thoughts are going to create scenarios. They're going to create potential outcomes. It's going to try and predict, good or bad, the outcome of the conversation or the interaction, because within identity, as it relates to that person, you don't know where you stand with them. So you're uncertain about you in that moment. When you pray, there must be cognitive alignment. You've got to believe that this is who I am. I am loved. I am worthy. I am capable of when this thing, prayer is answered, when it comes to fruition, when it manifests into being, and I am capable of sustaining it. So there are a lot of things that cognitively you must be in alignment with. Again, people teach you, oh, the song we used to sing, turn it over to the Lord and he'll work it out. The problem with that is we are supposed to turn things over to God, but we don't understand you don't turn things over to God and then go back to your stools of doubt or your rooms of do nothing or your spaces and places of being up and down or unsure about who and what you are or relishing in not being validated, not being good enough. That's not how it works. You have to believe that you're worthy. This is why I have an issue with the unworthiness message. On one hand, you're trying to empower people. You're teaching people again to be religious schizophrenics, or you're teaching them to be religiously bipolar. One minute you're telling them how great and wonderful they are and filled with power. The next moment you're telling them that they're nothing, sinful, and on their way to hell if they make one mistake. There must be cognitive alignment. The next thing, there must be emotional alignment. In other words, I feel stable in this identity. I feel stable in this identity of being worthy, of having better, of being worthy of love, of being worthy of abundance, of being worthy of success, of being worthy of having my prayers answered. The next thing is behavioral alignment. I act in agreement with this identity. I'm acting like I'm worthy of what I just prayed. I'm acting like I've received what I just prayed. And lastly is physiological alignment. My body is regulated and supportive. In other words, you have trained your body to let go of the negativity that is created, that is the darkness in our emotions, to release endorphins and chemicals in the brain that support that this thing is done, that you in identity are the one who owns and possesses it and already has it. When we do these things, when all these things are in alignment, cognitive, emotional, behavior, and physiological, because the body is important. I want you to type this in the comment section. This came out of a book. The body keeps score. Type that in the comment section. The body keeps score. The body keeps score. The body has been there all the time, recording. That body is you. You are that body. That body is you. It is recording your states of consciousness. It is recording your states of mind. It is recording your beliefs and non-beliefs. And it is responding accordingly with a chemical cocktail of emotions that's either killing you or giving you life, that's either uplifting you or dragging you down. I want you to hear me. Again, as I was talking to this young man the other day, and he was struggling with some things, I wanted him to see that when you get triggered, there's a reason why you go back to this one particular activity that you participated in that you want to give up. There's a reason why the trigger, you keep going back to the event, you keep going back to the thing you don't want to do when you get triggered. Something is triggering you. His body has been conditioned and trained, so forth and so on. People want to put this on spirits. Number one, I was sharing with him the transfer of trauma, and if trauma can be transferred down through up to 7 generations, from 7 generations past, other things can be transferred to us. Secondly, and more importantly, which was really the first point I made to him, is that your body, your mind is conditioned to feel empowered when you are doing this particular thing because it has kept score. And when we do a certain thing, it knows we're in our happy place, even if we're doing a thing that's destroying us. But if physiologically you have defined it as your happy place, then every time you feel a certain way negatively, it's going to revert you or direct you to that place where physiologically you feel empowered, alive, whatever it is you get out of it, it's going to take you there emotionally. Am I making sense tonight? Okay. So when these align, you are no longer trying, you are being. You are being. You and I are being. I'm almost done. I'm going to get to that activation. I talked a little bit about the daily discipline of embodiment. Living the prayer is not a one-time event. Again, that's a misconception. People think, oh, I pray, and I've taught on these things for years. Some of the stuff I taught was in error. Listen, this is a daily practice. This is a daily practice. This is where people fail because they lack consistency. Again, I'm going to quote from Dr. James Clear: until we get it, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. If we keep taking inconsistent actions about our spirituality, our spiritual growth, our spiritual identity, so forth and so on, we are saying, this is who I wish to become. Adult, spiritual, non-growing, infantile, sucking on milk and titty juice for the rest of our lives. No, you've got to vote to expand. You've got to vote to grow. You've got to vote to step into a deeper dimension. You've got to vote to learn more about who and what you are, which means that you have to spend precious time investing in your spiritual development, your spiritual expansion. You are investing in yourself. This is, family, identity in motion. So every decision, family. Let me put this up. Let me see, and then I'm gonna skip over. I'm gonna get to where I want to go. I'm gonna get to where I want to go tonight. Let me look at my time. Okay, I got to wrap this up real quickly. Let me see if I can put this up on the screen for you. If I can put that up on the screen for y'all. I'm gonna type it in the comment section first, then I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Every decision is either reinforcing the old self or building the new one. Now, I want you to type that in the comment section and personalize it and say it like this: every decision I make is either reinforcing the old self or building the new one. Every decision I make is either reinforcing the old self or building the new one. So can you imagine, since money is a hot topic in this country and an important subject, most definitely with our tribe, can you imagine praying that the creator, that God, the source, would expand you, that he would show you how to prosper, that he would transform your heart and your mind, that he would align you with abundance, and that he would expand your territory and increase you and all these other things. And you pray this prayer for 7 days in a row. And then the whole time you're praying this prayer, the whole time you're meditating, or even after you stop praying it and maybe you draw back from meditation, it doesn't make a difference. you're having a conversation with somebody and complaining about how broke you are and how scarce money is, and it's just so hard to get ahead. Do you know what you just did? The new identity you prayed for, you canceled out with your mouth. The decision you made in that conversation reinforced the old, scarce, don't have nothing, living lack, always struggling you. Am I bringing it home, family? Am I bringing it home? Even what you say, even your conversation has to shift. You got to start acting like you are the new identity that you've been praying for, that you've been praying about, that you've been praying to become, that you've been praying to align with. You got to start acting like it, which means you got to master emotions in those situations. I know what it's like to feel with anxiety, thinking about stuff. And then I got to the point when I started growing in my understanding, I just can't let that go unchecked. I just can't let that go unchallenged. I must confront it, and I must confront it from within to let my body understand and know I respect that you are carrying out my old wishes. You are carrying out the wishes of my old identity. But this is a new me that acknowledges that he has feelings. He's not trying to suppress those feelings, but just saying these feelings and these emotions are not what I want connected with my new identity anymore. Shatataba. I felt that one. So here's some activation we want to get into tonight. And listen, I didn't talk so until I didn't even really get on what I want to discuss tonight. We define prayer as identity. I kind of discussed that. We identify behavioral standards. Who does this version of me do? What does this version of me do daily? And I really want to talk about how to regulate the nervous system. I really want to talk about how to regulate the nervous system. And the first thing I want to discuss with you, family, is stillness. I want you to type stillness in the comment section. Can I take a little longer? I'm not the young folks say I'm not gonna hold you. I'm definitely not going. Is it cat? Does cat mean lie? Is that what that means? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to bed earlier than that. I was extremely tired when I started this broadcast. That's why I want to cut it off. But can I have some extra minutes? Because I plan to be done in 5 minutes from now. But I took time giving you a recap, and I really need to get into the heart of what I want to discuss with you tonight, because I want you to be activated in this. So can I have some extra time? Can I have a little extra time, fam? I got a yes. I got a yes. Anybody else? Can I have a little extra time? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, stillness. Stillness. Stillness is important. Let me start talking about how to regulate the nervous system, and we will kind of touch on the subject of stillness. Now, I chose between two slides because this slide, okay, it seems like a more peaceful slide. But I decided I like this one better because this one kind of highlights on one side life outside of his window that represents the physical construct, the physical world. On the other side of him are multiple things happening at the same time, but he's in the center in his stillness. So I want to talk about how to interrupt the pattern. Stillness is the interrupting the pattern of urgency. And I got to begin with the central nervous system, or with the nervous system, because again, family, the nervous system does participate in prayer. You're not thinking and feeling stuff when you're praying from some other source. That's you feeling and thinking what you think and feel in the moment. I just kind of described some of that. All right. Real quickly, let me get into some of this material. We talked about identity, and again, your body supports your identity. I want you to type it in the comment section. My body supports my identity. Type that in the comment section. My body supports my identity. So check this out. You cannot consistently embody peace while your nervous system is continually preparing for danger. You cannot easily inhabit abundance while your body remains organized around scarcity. Again, you're praying, but physically, you're not in the state that you're praying about. And again, we understand when you initially start praying, your body has to learn to come into alignment. You have to bring it into alignment. Hear me. I get that. My concern is 6 months later, 3 months later, you are still standing in faith through prayer and meditation and other means to produce a reality where the answers are present, but your central nervous system, your body, is still in the original state when you said the first prayer. You cannot fully experience prayer's alignment when your physiology interprets every delay, bill, disappointment, or unanswered question as evidence that something is missing. Did you catch that? There's a lot of something is off. There's a lot of something is missing. There's a lot of something not adding up. And sometimes that's true, but most of the time it's not adding up because your nervous system is saying it's not supposed to add up to you. You're always supposed to be in a constant state of suspicion. You are trained consciously to be suspicious. I want you to hear what I'm saying. I've lived in skepticism before. I know what that's like. And we can get these signals, these mishaps that happen in our lives, and we will interpret it by feeling that something is wrong. When in essence, it don't have to be wrong. It could be right. But you're used to existing in this state where that which can change you looks like an enemy. And that which is in alignment with your current state that you need to change looks like and feels like a friend and feels like comfort to you. This is why the nervous system regulation belongs in a serious conversation as it relates to prayer. You see, prayer is not just saying something with your mouth. It is an experience involving your thoughts, emotions, attention, breathing, posture, expectations, and bodily state. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? So we might verbally declare, I trust God, I trust the source, while your body is braced for disaster. Come on here. We may affirm, I am supported, I am supported, I am supported, while your chest is tight, your breathing is shallow, and your mind is compulsively rehearsing everything that could go wrong. Do you know what that means? That means that your body is sending you a message, I don't feel supported. Your body is saying to you, I'm not supported, I'm not supported, I'm not supported. Talk back to me now, family. Has anybody ever experienced something similar to this before? Am I on the right track or not? You may affirm, I am supported again, but your chest is tight, your heart is racing fast, and everything that could go wrong comes to your mind. That is your body saying, this is why we are trained to operate, and you're trying to say something different than what I'm used to. Your conscious mind may be declaring faith while your nervous system is expressing fear. It's happened to me too many times in the past to count. The goal is not to condemn the fear. I want you to hear me. The goal is to bring the whole self into greater coherence. I'm going to say it again. The goal is to bring the whole self into greater coherence. I'm going to put that up on the screen in a minute so you can see that. So you can see that. Did y'all see that statement? Prayer is not merely something you say with your mouth. It is an experience involving your thoughts, come on now, emotions, attention, breathing, posture, expectations, and bodily state. Now, what you see on the screen, family, is that wrong what you see on the screen? When you pray, you're praying from what you're thinking. Have you ever felt something while you pray? Have you ever put your attention on something while you pray? Because you're breathing while you're praying. Some of y'all, we breathing in panic mode. Your posture, it could be a posture that states, I believe, or I'm somber, or I'm sad, or I'm defeated. Your expectations, and of course, your bodily state. Now, aren't all these things involved in your prayers? Type in the comment section, yes or no. Is everything in that sentence, have you experienced that as being a part of your prayer process? Whether you say yes or not, you have. You have. So the goal is not to condemn the fear. The goal is to bring the whole self into greater coherence. Thank you, ladies, for being honest. And brother too. The goal is to bring the whole self into greater coherence. Contrary to popular belief, you are in control of your flesh. You're in control of your body. You can calm it, or you can make it overexcited. Here's a question your nervous system is continually asking. So I'm going to say this. Let me put this up. I want you to type this in the comment section. The body must learn what the mind is declaring. Type that in the comment section. The body must learn what the mind is declaring. Very good advice there. Type that in the comment section. The body must learn what the mind is declaring. Hallelujah. The body must learn what the mind is declaring. Okay, I'm getting closer to the end here. So your nervous system is continually asking. Listen to me, y'all ready? Your nervous system is continually asking these series of questions. The first question it's going to ask is, am I safe? Am I safe? Your body wants to know if it's safe. It's asking, am I threatened? And these first two things trigger us real quickly. Real quickly. If we don't feel safe or we feel threatened, and it's not that there are any predators around, but we may have underlying trauma that we have not resolved that makes us feel unsafe and unthreatened when we're really in safe, non-threatening situations. But the nervous system, if it interprets it as being unsafe or threatened, is going to react the way it's conditioned to. The third question is, do I need to fight? The next question is, should I run? There's a lot of running we want to do when we get triggered. The next question is, must I freeze? The next question the nervous system asks is, can I rest? The next question is it safe to receive? That's a big one too. That's a big one too. And the last one is it safe to become someone new? Ooh, that last one is huge because most people resist change because, number one, they know they need to change. They talk about change. They're writing about change. They're praying about change. But then they're so afraid that if they give up that old you or the old them or the old identity that they really want to expand out of, it's like, who else am I going to become? Well, my friend, you should become something better. You should become something greater. But is it safe to become someone new? Is a huge question as well. It's a huge question. So when your system detects threats, the sympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system mobilizes energy, moves it. Your heart rate may increase, muscles tighten, breathing becomes faster or shallower, and attention narrow around the perceived problem. We become hyper-focused on the problem. This response is essential when immediate action is required. The problem is not activation itself. The problem arises when temporary activation becomes a chronic way of living. Doctors will tell you the body is not designed to live in the fight or flight stage. All that energy is produced, then all that cortisol is produced. And if you live with this kind of survival energy for too long, it starts internalizing or turning itself on the organs. The organs start being damaged, which leads to the creation of diseases in our own bodies, the failure of organs in our own bodies. You become so accustomed to urgency that peace feels familiar. Unfamiliar, excuse me. Peace feels unfamiliar. Wow. Did you catch that? You become so accustomed to urgency that peace feels unfamiliar. Something don't feel right. Yeah, it's peaceful around here. That's probably what don't feel right. If you're used to fighting and scrapping and scraping and always having to protect yourself and look over your shoulder, and you find yourself in a situation where none of that is necessary, yeah, you're not going to feel right because you're used to being in the jungle. Where it's kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, in your own home, in your own family, in your own relationships. In that condition, the body may resist the identity the conscious mind is attempting to adopt. You're saying, I'm becoming prosperous, but your body has learned money is always disappearing. You are saying, I am loved, but your body remembers abandonment. You are saying, I trust the unfolding, but every delay activates panic. Did you catch that? I'm gonna say it again. You are saying, I am loved, I am loved, I am loved. You're meditating, I am loved. But your body, remember, is keeping the score. It remembers the feeling of abandonment. So when you're telling it, I am loved, it is so used to you saying to it, I am abandoned, that this is how it's going to eventually respond back to you. No, you're alone. No, you by yourself again. You're saying, I trust the unfolding. I'm just going to let it happen. I'm going to disconnect. I'm just going to let God, I'm going to let the source, I'm going to let the creator, I'm just going to let him do it. But then when you experience a delay, it activates panic mode in you. Oh, it's taking too long. It's taking too long. What's going on? This is why alignment requires more than repeating a new belief. The body must gradually be introduced to a new experience. Again, what does this have to do with prayer? Because you're praying for all these wonderful things to open and to expand for you, but your body don't believe it. It's not going to align with your spirit self, your spirit essence, your spirit you. It's not going to participate in actively, positively programming the subconscious part of you. Instead of it bringing light, it's going to, again, unleash darkness within you. The body must gradually be introduced to a new experience. So regulation is the process of helping the body recognize, I am here. I am present. I am not in immediate danger. I do not have to make decisions from panic. I can respond from the identity I've chosen. And let me tell you what's difficult, can be difficult, is when we, again, are operating in a certain brain frequency where matter, space, and time, the physical, outweighs the spiritual. And these physical needs, desires, and demands appear to be more real and demanding than who we are as a powerful spirit being that really has auspices and jurisdiction over all this stuff. In other words, we're more powerful than all this stuff. But when we're not balanced spiritually, or we're not operating in the spirit as a spirit, when we are not operating in not just self-governance, but self-mastery and the mastery of our own world, we tend to think that this stuff is affecting who and what we are and what we can and can't do. I am here. I am present. I am not in immediate danger. I do not have to make decisions from panic. I can respond from identity, the identity I have chosen. Regulations do not mean suppressing emotion or pretending circumstances are ideal. It's not what we're discussing here. It means becoming sufficiently grounded that fear does not automatically become your identity, your interpretation, or your next action. Now type again this is what I want you to type in the comment section this time. Stillness, interrupting the pattern of urgency. Stillness, interrupting the pattern of urgency. And then we're going to end here with an exercise. We're going to end here with an exercise. Stillness, interrupting the pattern of urgency. Here we go. Here we go. My goodness. Psalm 46:10. I'll put it up on the screen. Give assistant a rest tonight. Psalm 46:10. This is what it says. Be still and know that I am God. Where is that God? Resident mystic knows where that God is. That God is in you. That God is with you. That God is a part of you. That God at times operates as you. So stillness, family, is not merely the absence of physical movement. It is the interruption of unconscious reactivity. It is the interruption, hallelujah, of unconscious reactivity, the stuff that's in us that we're not consciously thinking, but that's controlling us like a puppet master, that's guiding reactions. It is the sacred pause between what happens to you and what you decide it means. You see, many people pray while internally rushing. Their bodies remain tense. Their thoughts are racing, and their prayers become verbal extensions of panic. Has anybody ever prayed this prayer before in the past? I have. God, please do something. Why hasn't it happened? Why hasn't it happened yet? What am I going to do? 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 That's not enough time. That's not enough time. That's not enough time. Please, God, help me. Please, 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 please help me. I want you to understand, I prayed some of these prayers, and it's understandable that we have these serious, intense, passionate feelings based on struggle. But I also want you to remember that these things keep us anchored to emergency. They keep attention anchored to emergency. I'm gonna let that sink in. Hear our faintest cry here answered by. The Lord hears the cry of the righteous. So people feel like I gotta holler, I gotta wail, I gotta cry. That's not moving the Creator. That's not moving God. That's not moving the source. Faith, showing up in an identity of who and what you are and exercising that in faith is what really is going to move mountains. Yeshua told us that in Mark chapter 11, not how loud you holler, not how much you run up and down the aisles, not how much good gospel music you listen to, but the identity that's anchored in a divinity. It is stillness that allows you to stop feeding the emergency long enough to discern what is actually present. Did you catch that? Stillness will do that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that sometimes we shouldn't express ourselves. I'm not saying that, but We got to realize if we do that and that's our MO, then we're going to be anchored and focused on emergency only. Okay? In stillness, you are not denying the bill, the diagnosis, the uncertainty, or the conflict. You're refusing to let the condition dictate the total state of consciousness. I want you to type this in the comment section. I refuse to let the condition dictate my total state of consciousness. Type that in the comment section. I refuse to let the condition dictate my total state of consciousness. Family, I understand that conditions can really, 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 really be life and death. I recognize that conditions can be connected to our ability to survive or to thrive. But I want to encourage you before we get into this exercise to tap into stillness. Can I tell you what stillness says? Let me tell you what stillness says. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. This family is how powerful stillness is. Oh my God, I feel the presence. I feel it. This is, family, this is what stillness says. Stillness says the circumstance is present, but it is not the whole of reality. I can observe it without becoming it. Did you see that? Yes, the circumstance is present, but it's not all of who I am. It does not represent my whole world. It does not represent my whole cosmos. And many times when we're in panic, we give it so much weight. We give it so much power. We act as if our whole world is about to collapse if I don't get this fixed, if I don't get that done, if I don't get this moving, if I don't get this in my life. In 1 Kings chapter 19, the revelation did not come to the prophet Elijah through the wind, earthquake, or fire, but through what is often translated as a still small voice or a sound of sheer silence. Divine guidance, family, is not always found in the loudest internal reaction. Sometimes the wisdom you need cannot be heard until urgency becomes quiet. Oh my goodness. Shatataba. Oh my goodness, I feel that one. I feel that one. Somebody hear me today. Somebody hear me today. Somebody hear me today. Somebody hear me today. Did you know that research on mindfulness suggests that present moment attention can help people disengage from worry loops and relate differently to difficult thoughts? Mindfulness, present moment attention. Instead of treating every thought as a command or a prophecy, mindfulness develops the ability to witness mental activity without being carried away by it. The National Institutes of Health notes evidence that mindfulness-based approaches can reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and help people become less captured by past and future-oriented thinking. That's from NIH, Mindfulness for Your Youth. Prayer training the mind, the brain, and the body to become still is a powerful ally in prayer. Now, I'm going to share a stillness practice with you. Are y'all ready for the stillness practice? Who's ready for the stillness practice? Who's ready for the stillness practice? Put myself up here. I'm going to participate in a stillness practice. See if I can do this. That's kind of tiny. That's not what I'm. That's right. We're going to do a stillness practice. Real quickly. Let me get that off the screen. I want you to, well, you ready? Okay, thank you. I got some ready. Thank you. I know some of you might not be in a quiet place, but listen, I'm going to ask you to make me a promise. If you're not in an environment where there's peace and you can sit comfortably and quiet, will you please do this tonight before you go to bed? Who's going to, I know we're going to, some of it, I'm going to just take you through it now, but I want everybody that can to at least do it tonight before you go to bed. I want you to sit comfortably and allow your hands to rest. Now, it's important that we not try and manifest, visualize, affirm, or solve anything. You're going to simply notice the surface supporting your body. Notice the sensation in your feet and hands. Notice the sounds around you. The movement of your breathing. The thoughts passing through your awareness. As you have noticed these things, then you say slowly, I release the need to solve everything in this moment. I am present. Divine wisdom is present. I can become still without becoming powerless. Then you remain silent for 2 or 3 minutes. And then it's over. Stillness, family, it's not passivity. It is preparation for aligned action. Now I'm going to ask you the question. This is what I'm going to do. Before I do it, though, how many of you all want to see me put this as a post in our Patreon community so that you can go there and tonight before you go to bed, follow the instructions yourself? How many of y'all want me to do that? Type yes in the comment section if you want me to do that. It's probably been a while since some of y'all been in there, but I need you to start checking your community and posts. But who's willing to do that? Who's willing to do that? Let me see. Yeah, this whole thing. So that's what I'm doing now. While we're talking, I'm multitasking. I'm putting the whole thing right down. So when we get offline, you'll be able to refer to this post, and it's going to be entitled a stillness practice. And I want to encourage you to use this as often as you need it. I'm going to have some more activations next week that work together with this. But let me tell you something, family, and I got to go. I'm getting emotional because I know how far I've come. And I know that if I did not use some of these principles in my life, I probably would be out of my mind by now. I probably would, I don't know where I would be, to be honest. But it really, really works. And again, it is an aid to contribute to the state of calm and resolve as a divine being who has authority when they pray. This will contribute to your whole state of mind and state of consciousness in prayer, and also when you're dealing with situations and circumstances. If you just take time to use this stillness practice, you're going to see significant change in your life. Okay? I'm going to post it. Now, next week, family, I'm going to be talking about breath work. So I want you to type in the comment section. Next week, it's breath work. So our resident therapist, don't let me forget, or Chris, don't let me forget, I'm doing breath work. It's already laid out. I just have to remember to stay on these, these topics. But as soon as we get off here, it will be this exercise. I already copied and pasted. I just need to add a few more things. Next week, breath work. Put that in the comment section. That's what I'm going to go over. Take some time to talk about breath work and how it contributes to prayer and the power of prayer and prayers being answered, how we can use breath work to aid us spiritually. Okay? And then we're going to do an exercise with that on next Wednesday. All right? Linda says she loves the breathing techniques too. Breathing techniques, family, are awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm telling you, I have to do a lot of driving now. And there are times I'm driving and doing breath work or breathing to calm myself, to regulate myself. Do you realize that you can change your mood to negative to positive by taking 3 or 4 deep breaths, inhaling slowly and then exhale? You don't even have to visualize. Just breathing in slowly, and it changes your brain chemistry. It changes those hormones that are released in the brain. It really elevates your state of consciousness, similar to what exercise does. I'm going to talk about breath work and its connection to, again, solidifying our identity in the prayer process. Now, y'all know I really, really, really love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all so much for spending time with me on tonight. And remember, we are a giving community. I know I've got people here who get monthly checks, and as soon as they get their check or their direct deposit, they donate a portion. We don't do what I used to do. This is just voluntary giving. I believe if you know the principles of giving, I don't have to teach them to you. I remember our resident mystic said a month or two ago, he gave out food. And I think before the day was done, his freezer or refrigerator was overflowing. You know what that is? That's given and shall be given unto you. That's all that is. It's a spiritual law. It's a spiritual principle. So even if I don't mention giving, know that this platform requires donations. I require donations. It empowers me to continue to do what I'm doing on this platform and other platforms. So you can go use this, or you can go to theaggreen.com anytime it hits you. and you can give. Okay? But we're not doing no long, drawn-out speeches on this platform on why you should do it. No, it is a spiritual law, and we operate by that principle. I'm releasing you with the Shalom blessings on tonight. That's right, breathing techniques. She said, overcame my nervous breakdown with breathing techniques. See what I'm talking about? I'm telling you, it works. It's very, very powerful. We'll get into that on next week. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, prosperity, nothing missing, nothing broken. Ashe, ashe. It is so, and so it is. Enjoy your day. Thank you for being a part of this journey of awakening and transformation. Support the Light Through Revolution, Inc. by liking, sharing, and giving. Cash App $AG Green and $AG Green Enterprises. You can also give by Zelle. Anthony G. Green at hotmail.com is what you use. And Chime $Anthony/Green/336. If you haven't joined as a member of Patreon, now is a good time. We're a spiritual community that's evolving, transforming, and ascending. If you like what you have seen and heard, connect with us. It's time to vibe with your tribe. Also take time to visit theaggreen.com for the latest developments and just explore divinespeciesshop.com for spiritual tools to elevate your life. Your love and support helps keep this mission alive.